So, good morning everyone. So, our topic today is about water resources. As we all know that water is very important in our society today. So, without water, we cannot survive. And kahit isipin pa natin that okay ra ko, I can live, I can survive, I can breathe. But without the presence of water, so you can't survive. So you'll die after how many weeks without taking in or drinking water. That's how water it's very important. So as we all know, water covers about 4/5 of our planet, and it is the most precious resources that exist today. So 'di ba halata naman na or understandable naman talaga that water is everything. Even though water is everywhere, not all water is consumable. So even though it is renewable, but not everything na nakikita ng ating mata is consumable because some water are contaminated. Some water are salty. So you can't even drink. So kinsa may niinom diri og dagat, 'di ba? You try to drink the sea water, but what you get is uubo kayo because of too much salinity na imuhang na intake. So, as we all know, water is made from 1 oxygen and 2 hydrogen atoms. So, in a formula, it is H2O, that there is 2 hydrogen combined with 1 oxygen. And it is the only substance in nature which is commonly found in all 3 states. So, ito lang yung nag-iisang tubig or ito lang yung nag-iisang resources na pwede nating makita in 3 states. We already know naman, di ba, what are or what is this, what we call 3 states. So the most important, as what I have said earlier, so circumstellar habitable zone or orbital region around the star where liquid form or water in liquid form is also called as Goldilocks zone. So ito yung tawag sa habitable zone ng region ng isang tubig na nag-exist in liquid form. So as you all know, diba, since it is renewable, it is babalik din kung anong nawala sa atin. So this is what we call the water cycle, from the word itself, cycle. So it is powered by the energy of the sun. So the last week we've talked about the different sources of energy. And the sun is one of the helpful or the aid in order to release or to provide the cycle of what we call water. So as you all know, the water undergoes evaporation, condensation, precipitation, and collection. In evaporation, there is where the droplets of the sun is evaporate and form into gas. Then with condense, so the clouds get darker. So as a result, the rain comes up. So it's either a form of rain, hail, or snow. And there is what we call the collection. So sometimes this rain soaks in the ground. So ina-absorb siya ng soil that also give nutrients to the plants, or the second one, ina-absorb naman ito ng ating mga pananim. And sometimes it becomes the underground reservoir. So yung tinatawag natin na aquifer. So are you familiar, di ba, with well? So, di ba yung balon? So, yung tubig sa balon is natawag natin na aquifers because these are the underground reservoir. So, this is what I've said earlier, the 3 states of water. We have the solid, liquid, and gas. So, di ba, as you can see, olap, love, summer. So, different formation or different forms of liquid. So, lahat ng sapa, rivers, lake, pond, marshes. So, ano pang tawag dyan, or oceans. So, those are part of water. So, those are water or in liquid form of water. And the second one is we have solid. So in a ice form, so where the molecules are compacted. So aside from snow, we have also, di ba, sa ice, di ba minsan may mga ref tayo and most of us mahilig talaga sa malalamig. So sometimes our parents or kita mismo is nagpapalamig ng tubig or ating in a form of solid yung ating mga tubig or liquid form into solid form. So sa ref, nilalagay natin to in a high degrees or temperature, in a very cold temperature so that it will change into solid form. And third one is gas. So as you all know, in terms of evaporation, so gas, it's always there. So condensation and also condensation. And also when we are steaming or we are, yung nag-init tayo ng tubig or nagaluto tayo ng pagkain, di ba? We see that the gas molecules are skipping in the atmosphere. So these are an example of a gas form. So distribution of water resources. So salt water or just like ocean, seas, bays, or saline bodies of water, it composed of 97%. So, di ba, think of it. So, if there is 100% water that present in the earth, so ang pwede lang nating magamit is only 3% of it. And sa 3% pa na yun, it is only 1% that is available or only available. So the other 2% is hindi natin siya masyadong magagamit or we can't use it talaga because some fresh water are frozen. So those are yung mga nasa Antarctica. They are very, na-frozen sila in a very, very long time. But as what we know, the change or climate change or global warming, so the Antarctica start to evaporate. So nag-uumpisa na itong change ang iyang form o yung state of matter. So natutunaw na, nagsa-start ng matunaw yung mga solid form because of global warming. So fresh water includes glaciers, ice caps, lakes, living things, soil moisture, water, and also water vapor. So as you can see in the picture, it is only 1% that is available, and the other 2% is unavailable. So from the word itself, unavailable, humans, animals, and plants cannot use it or cannot enjoy the percentage that is not available for us. So di ba kung ano pa yung mga bagay na very important to us, it is limited. Kasi, if this is unlimited, we will not enjoy or we will not appreciate. Diba? Kahit nga sa buhay natin, sa totoong buhay, kapag sobra-sobra ang binigay, hindi na natin ito hindi na natin na-appreciate yung kanyang existence. Yung nakakalimutan mo ng magpasalamat. But because of this, diba, ano talaga mapapansin natin that water today or magkakaroon tayo ng scarcity of water. Ang daming country na nahihirapan makainom, like Africa. So you observe many studies shows that Africa is very poor. One of that is they have lack or scarcity of water. Kaya ang papayat-payat nila. So, huwag nating hayaan na masira na lang yung katubigan na hindi naman, kumbaga, hindi ibinigay sa atin para pag-aksayahan, kung hindi to appreciate things that exist that help us to survive. So, ito, world water distribution, salt water 98%, fresh water 2%, and in 2%, atin pa yung i-divide kung anong pwede natin gamitin. So, 87% of that is ice. And 1% is rivers and lakes, and the 12% is the groundwater. So, yung groundwater na yun na yung sinasabi natin, the aquifers. So, the groundwater, so later we will talk about the groundwater if it is renewable or it is for the use of humans or beings. So as you can see, we only have 2% water in a world distribution. It is very limited, even though it is renewable. It will not, hindi siya nawawala, but it is limited. So advanced societies in ancient times founded along river systems. So we have the Sumerian. So we are very familiar with Tigris and Euphrates, the Nile River in Egyptian civilization, Indus River in India, Mekong River in China, between China, Laos, and Cambodia, and also Pasig River, which is the most familiar among the rest, which is found here in our country, in Pasig or in somewhere in Luzon. So it was already discovered during the pre-Hispanic society during 1000 to 1500 CE or civilization. So ito na yan kanina. So we have 12% of groundwater. And in order to emphasize, groundwater is not renewable. So it's very sad and it's very poor that a groundwater is not renewable. Water is a renewable resources, but a groundwater is not. Soil moisture, surface water, and ocean water continually replenish every time when it rains. But a groundwater does not. Hindi siya renewable. Hindi siya pwedeng palitan agad-agad. So that's the reason why makes a tiny share of 0.9% of Earth's resources and not easily replenished. Sorry for the spelling. It is a precious resources that needs conservation. Must be used judiciously. So dapat natin siyang alagaan. So, we must conserve this type of water na hindi agad or hindi renewable. Kasi if we use too much of it, wala nang ipapalit. Wala nang, magadili na siya mapulihan, kumbaga. So, tayo din naman yung mahihirapan. Right? So, human impact on fresh water. So, ano yung impact ng fresh water sa ating mga tao? So, as you can see in the picture, so water used to water the plants. So, when there is scarcity of water, so hindi natin lahat may enjoy. So, there is some plants or many plants na namamatay na lang because hindi sila na kaka-take ng water. And also, it creates floods, and some, may mga iba na it's very hard. Ngayon nga, here in the Philippines, we don't, hindi nga tayo umiinom-inom agad ng tubig kahit saan-saan, right? Bumibili pa tayo. We buy water. Diba, ang daming negosyo ngayon na binibenta na ang tubig, right? So, if you don't have much money or that money, you can't drink kumbaga, dili ka makainom og hinlo na water. So, wala kang choice. All you have to do is to drink those water that are contaminated with many bacteria, many viruses that cause everyone's illness. So, we need to be talaga, kumbaga, vigilant on what we do. So, water for agriculture. So, as you all know, that it's not just humans that needs water, but also our farmers. Without water, agriculture can't survive. As we all know, it is estimated that 70% of fresh water is being used for irrigation. So, last month, I've watched the documentaries about the terraces. Diba, we are very familiar with the rice terraces somewhere in Luzon. So, as I've watched, dati kasali pa yan sa wonders ng buong mundo. But today, some of the lots sa terraces is iniiwan na ng mga farmers. One of the reason is walang tubig. Kasi kapag lahat ng farmers iniwan yung kanilang farm lot, magugutom tayo. We will all starve. So on average, 2,500 liters of water are needed to produce the food needed by one person in a day. Imagine, wala pa kaniinom na og tubig. But, katong mga food nga imi gina-intake, naganito sila og 2,500 liters of water per person. So imagine how many people exist nowadays. Billions, millions. Then multiply it to 2,500 liters. So it's very blessing that after today or until today we survive. So even though yung mga farmers natin today is nahihirapan na because of the aside sa scarcity of water, hindi sila masyado pinakikinggan ng gobyerno. So, diba? Amura-mura na ng bigas, amura-mura ng palay. Tapos, as you all know, that the farmers are the backbone of our society. Without them, we masa-starve tayo into debt. So, water for food. 7 billion people to feed today. 60% more food needed. 19+% increase in water consumption, including irrigated and rain feed by 2050. So, as the years goes by, so mas lalaki or tataas yung pangangailangan natin sa fresh water. So, global water withdrawals, 70% for agriculture, 10% for domestic, and 20% for industry. Diba, as you can see sa graph, or sa pie graph, 70% of it is in need for agriculture. So, every day, one person drinks 2 to 4 liters per week. But the person per day eats 2,000 to 5,000 liters for the use of water sa ating pagkain. Diba, we've talked kanina na 2,500 liters para sa ating pagkain. Plus additional water pa na ating intake. So all in all, aabot tayo ng 5,000 plus liters of water per day sa kada tao. So, we need talaga to appreciate things that exist. We need talaga to, kumbaga, magmuni-muni ta sa tanan nato nga hayaan na lang or gigamit nato na wala lang sa tumay. Kumbaga, giabuso natin. So, a slice of bread needs 40 liters. Grabe no, imagine, a slice of bread, 40 liters kid ang water na needed. An apple needs 70 liters. One apple. Imagine, one apple lang ha? It needs 70 liters. So, how much mo kaya itong iba ng mga food? Pila kaya kalit liters ang ilahang need in order to produce ang atong ginakaon every day. Sa yung nila, an apple a day keeps the doctor away. So, kung sa isa ka week magkaon kag 7 ka apple, times 7, okay, kamo na multiply. So, 7 times 7, so, the 0, o na to. So, makaingid ka, grabe, we need talaga water. Water talaga is very important. So, for industrial, so as we all know, energy needs water. So, hydroelectric power, geothermal power plants, those things needs water. All these processes, fresh water is extracted from their natural reserves. So, ini-extract sila in order to bring energy or electricity to all parts of the community. Para lang mabigyan tayo ng energy or mabigyan tayo ng kuryente or makagawa tayo everyday ng ating daily tasks. Kasi without energy naman, di ba, we can't work. Walang kuryente, we can't work. Kahit ano pang gawin natin, we can't work without energy, without kuryente, without all. So it is estimated that 22% of freshwater supplies is used in industries. So, malaki-laki pa rin yung 22%. At ang natira, it is used for our daily needs. For bathing, cooking, drinking, laundry, for plants, gardening. So, yun na yung natira. For domestic use, it is estimated that 8% of freshwater supply used for domestic. So, diba, hating-hati or gamit na gamit yung tubig. Pag matani mo sa buntag, inom mo tubig, isa ka baso. Before ka magkaon, inom mo tubig, isa ka baso. After magkaon, inom kag tubig after magkaon, inom kag tubig. Pag magluto ka ng kanin, you need to use water. Asa mo ka nakita kanon daw, be, nga naluto na way tubig-tubig sa sinanlag. Hinimo kag kape. So, magtimpla kag kape, kailangan ni mong tubig. Maligo ka, kailangan mong tubig. CR ka, kailangan mong tubig. So, dili kita makatakas sa tubig. Kay in a week or 2 weeks ganing na dili ta maka-intake og water, na abot na lang kung kaya pa ba nimo makatindog sa imong gilingkuran or imong higdaan. Because water is very important sa atin as humans and everything that exists in this world. So, consequence of excessive withdrawal of fresh water. So, ito lang yung nangyayari kapag ginamit natin ng sobra-sobra or na-abuse natin ang pag-withdraw ng fresh water. First one is drought. Since so much water is being taken out from freshwater reserves, fewer water resources available to plants and agriculture. So, as you can see in the picture, bitak-bitak na yung lupa. So, plants can survive if the land area is very dry, right? So, paano ka makakatanim kung para na yung cookies na tiga? Diba? You know the word tiga? Sabi na kauga. Uga na kaya gusto na mabasa. So, you can't you cannot plant in there because it's very, very dry, it's very sad, it's very poor. And the second one is drying up of wetlands. So, even though here in the Philippines, hindi natin masyadong i-experience ang drying up of wetlands kasi hindi naman masyadong mainit yung ating ating atmosphere, hindi masyadong mabilis yung evaporation of water, but some areas in the earth or sa world, they experience drying up of wetlands, and it's very unique that if this part of the world nagda-dry up, there are some species na nakaka-survive. Just like the hito. If you're familiar with the hito, if you watch some of the documentaries in the YouTube or in TVs, so there are some mga aquatic life na nakaka-survive kahit walang water. So it's very unique. So reduce river flow and reduce the spring result in reduced water being supplied to wet marsh and swamps. So just like ours in the province, yung sapa namin doon is, naghinay-hinay na siya ka-dry. So when we were young, back in my child days, or pag bata pa ako, we enjoy talaga that river kasi malalim and it is very rich and it's very healthy. Nakukuhaan pag namin yun doon ng mga hipon. But today, napaka-sad. When I visit last March during the quarantine, because I got home and I got quarantined there for almost 3 months. So, hindi mo na siya ma-enjoy kahit yung fall sa baba ng sapa, malapit sa amin. You can't enjoy na kasi nauubos na yung tubig. According to the chismis, that binigyan doon ng ibang daan, yung tubig namin na sapa, binigyan ng ibang channel. Kasi parang business something daw ng local government. I don't know if it's true. So, yun lang. And third one is poor quality of drinking water. So, we are very OA na baya today. I don't want to drink water that is very, na hindi binili sa, sa La Mineral. Kasi gusto ko ng mineral kasi it's very, matamis-tamis. So, excessive withdrawal of water from aquifer leads to salt water intrusion. So, minsan may mga water na parang lasang dagat. So, because of excessive withdrawal of the reservoir or groundwater reservoir, and some water become contaminated. Some water binabahayan na ng lot of bacteria kasi it's very poor na. It's very, nagamit na ng husto, wala nang madidig, wala nang makukuha. Ganun. And the fourth one is subsidence, sinking of land. So too much withdrawal of water from the reservoir, so it leaves huge empty spaces sa ilalim. So ang ending, nag-subside ang tubig. So I mean yung lupa. So as you can see in the picture, para siyang lumubog yung lupa. So the soil top sinks leading to land subsidence. So ito yung mga consequence talaga na there is ano pa, iba or more about the consequence of excessive withdrawal of fresh water. At ito yung pinaka-common, the drought, ng lupa, drying up wetlands, yung pagka-dry ng mga tubig or mga sapa natin, and also poor quality of drinking. So, adami ng, as you can see in the picture, umiinom na tayo ng maduduming tubig. But luckily, here in the Philippines, hindi pa natin yan nararanasan here in General Santos City. And we're so very maswerte naman, right? And the last one is the subsidence. So, if we don't talaga appreciate the existence of water, darating tayo sa ganito, guys. Aabot tayo sa ganito. So, as early as today, as young as we are, we must appreciate things that exist na hindi natin kayang gawin. Like water. Hindi ka naman makakagawa ng tubig. Bakit? Si Aquaman ka ba? Sino ka ba sa mga Avengers? Si Justice League, sino ka ba? So, I hope every one of you understand the topic well. And if you have questions, you can chat with me on the group chat. So, thank you and God bless.